a nice Alexander the Great dram from Lampsakos shortly after his death. Hey everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and I want to talk you through some of my experience recently at the Munich Numismata 2024 coin show in Munich, Germany. So it was my first time going abroad for a coin show. It was incredible. I learned so much, met some incredible people, and I also bought a bunch of coins that I'm going to unbox. I've sold a few of the coins like immediately that I purchased over there. I'm making this about a week after the event, the weekend after I got back. And I think a little bit of a recap. So I went over and I also brought out my friend Spencer, who was going to buy ancient coins for me. We went to the Munich airport. I was staying with my cousin, who is an awesome guy. I have German citizenship and ancestry, so I stayed in his fraternity house. It's like an academic fraternity in Germany. Really cool. Super nice guys. They welcomed me with open arms, and I had welcomed their fraternity guys to my college campus last spring, so it was nice to kind of see what they were up to and what my, show them what my water polo team at college was like. But first day, got off the plane, I went right to Kunker, which is a pretty large auction house in Germany, and I was able to purchase some of their less expensive items. Basically, they have a shop that I'm not exactly sure the ownership structure, but they have a shop near Marienplatz, which is a relatively central location part of Munich, and they were very welcoming. I got some awesome deals. There were some nice thalers. That'll be probably a lot of the unboxing that I did. And then that was on recommendation of the owner of Stephen Album Rare Coins, which is a company. They specialize in sort of Indian and Islamic and Asian coins. And I was able to get lunch with two of the guys from Stephen Album. I've seen them at a lot of different shows. And then after that, let me think, went to a different coin shop where I didn't do any purchasing, and then spent some time with my cousin and walked around Munich. So it was very fun. I arrived on a Friday. The next day was a Saturday, and very German fashion. Coin show starts at 7 a.m. for dealer registration, so I got there right then. Great public transit, I have to admit. Navigating, my girlfriend lives in New York City, so when I drive in or train in from college to see her, NJ Transit, it's fine. But I was I was very impressed with the German public transit. Very clean, very on time, and beautiful countryside. I basically used public transit the whole time, and it costs 50 euros a month to travel around, basically a full pass. And so my cousin, it's incredible. He doesn't have a car. I like having a car in America. Anyways, but I figure I can make some cultural commentary as well. That was kind of neat to see. And so 7:30 to 9:30 is dealer registration for me, or dealer hours. For me, it's always worth paying the extra to attend a dealer part of a show as somebody who's trying to purchase quite a lot of material. It was a little bit different because of the export restrictions. You can't buy $20,000 of coins, take it on a plane with you. You have to, wait. You have stuff over there as I'm filming that's still waiting for a export license, that sort of thing. So the stuff that I'm showing is the more modern world coins. And so anyways, yeah, if I think, okay, I'm going to try to spend $5,000 at the show, $10,000. Is it worth it for me to pay an extra $50 or $100 to when I've already spent, $600 with an extra flight, $1,200 to be there? Definitely, because not only is there maybe fresher material, right? If I get the first look at somebody's inventory and there's a few good deals, maybe I can buy those right away. But also I want to be able to talk to the dealers, have a little bit more time with them. They see that I'm serious. And then I also went, as it was really fun. Also, though, I wanted to make some contacts that I could purchase from more going forward once I'm back in America. And I would say from that perspective, the trip went very well. So focused on arranged. There's some really friendly dealers, one from the United Kingdom, two guys from the Netherlands, one from France, a few from Austria, some from Germany. And, we saw Stephen Album. I worked in a summer for Heritage Auctions. So we saw they had purchased Heritage Auctions Europe, Jaco Schepper, and I think it's Huib Peltzer and Idzard. I didn't see Idzard, but it was great to meet Huib and see Jaco again. And, they're very friendly, wonderful people. And so that, you see a lot of people that you recognize. I saw some of the guys from a Dutch auction house, Schulman, that I'd purchased from at New York International. And I'm trying to think of some of the other people that I ran into. There was Boardwalk Numismatics, who I recently released an interview with Justin, and he had Ellery there who works with him. So they had a bunch of Reese's Pieces out, and they were mostly there to buy coins or sell to people that they had already sold to, like deliver coins. And so just really, really fun to see a lot of the U.S. Contacts that I'm familiar with. But anyways, I felt like I definitely spent the most in that first sort of 2 hours. There were definitely buying opportunities throughout the rest of the show, and there were a few cases where I bought from somebody. And I think that this is like generally good advice. If you go often, the first buy you make is not going to be that good of a buy, and then they realize that, okay, you're maybe there to spend a fair amount of money. So, that's basically what I did. And then maybe you come back to them later and they might have gotten new things, or they might have not put out everything on the table that they are selling for the day. And so, it's kind of a classic. If you're you don't get to have their first shot on all their inventory when you're first meeting them, but as you develop like a business relationship, and often generally with me, friendship, then you get to see some more stuff. So I went back the next day. I only was there for like the last hour of the 2 hours of dealer preview, and then probably took off by around 2 p.m. There were also some nice Lime scooters that Spencer had recommended we take, so that was fun to use a scooter all around. It was right from the Uber app around Germany. We had some fun dinners, and they have the Stockbierfest, which is like a German Bavarian, which is like the German state that Munich is in, like a kind of like Oktoberfest. I don't drink very much, but it was fun to have with my cousin, have some of the local beer. And I didn't have more than one beer, but it was a fun time, and it was relatively just like a good atmosphere, like really fun. People were up on the tables dancing. And with that being said, then I got back on the plane. I skipped a few classes, and I didn't do great on the assignments that I did on the plane, but I was able right towards the end of that also to film that video with Justin. Would highly recommend you check it out, and I think I'm hoping to film with him more, in the next few months. Anyways, let's take a look at some of the stuff that I got. It's still an unboxing video, but I wanted to give the full show recap. I didn't want to go. It was my first time. I actually didn't plan on filming anything, so it was great that Justin was there. I had my microphone, but I don't have I don't have any footage of the actual floor because I didn't want people to have security issues. I think even in Europe it's a little more private than it is in America, but wanted to give you my narrative on it. And I didn't want to say every exact person that I purchased coins from, because some of them are obviously secrets, who has the good stuff and who doesn't. That's why I'm going over there. So but I try to have maybe it would be cool if there was more people openly talking about their experience as a relatively serious coin dealer and collector. And I'm surprised there's not that much out there about it. So that was kind of I don't know, hopefully maybe you picked up some stuff, and now I'm excited to show off the coins. So let's dive right in. And in front of us are the coins. I'm going to just go coin by coin, and I'm pretty sure I put this on the video. I waited so that I could show everything, except in the meantime, I have sold a few of the items off. But anyways, everything is now in, so I'm pumped to show it all off. And we can start maybe on the ancient side, and then move over a little bit to some of the world items. But originally I was thinking of grading some of this stuff. Now I'm thinking maybe I should just sell it raw, because I have a bunch of stuff that I sent down to grading recently. But a nice Alexander the Great dram from Lampsakos shortly after his death. And there's Heracles on the obverse. I realize I'm probably going to have to go kind of fast here. This one is a Roman Republican denarius from around 85 BC, so before Julius Caesar. And it's got a fantastic, that looks like a quadriga. I can see 4 horses on there. And then it has the money ear and all the information on the coin. They do a good job with that. Then we have a denarius of Vespasian that looks pretty nice. A Diva Faustina, I think that's the senior, dies in 141 AD. We got a few Commodus. These, I want to say, cost somewhere in the low 50s to me. Commodus denarii, but they're pretty nice looking. And then a range of Philip the Arab Antoniani in pretty good shape. Lastly, a Posthumus and a Tacitus, all either fully silver or well silvered on a few of those later examples. And then right here, we have a Macedonian Aeon diable. I hadn't seen that before. I think it's like some sort of a winged animal, something like that. We have a Persian Achaemenid Empire Siglos. We got a fantastic Alexander the Great Dram. And then we have another Roman Republican denarius, I think 2 of them in pretty decent shape. A Julia Domna denarius, an Elagabalus denarius, and then a range. Gordian III is one of the more affordable silver emperors, a bit more of a common type. So I was able to pick up 5 of his denarii, a silver Cologne mint Gallienus denarius, and 2 of them, I think. And then this last one was a Antioch mint Gallienus Antoninianus. That's like a debased but denomination. Not much else in terms of the ancients, maybe a little bit. We have 3 of these French deniers, which I paid up a little bit for. It was like the first buy of the show, and I probably spent a little bit too much. We have a few remnants. We got some half crowns, 1899, from the late 1800s, basically. There's 1889 with the slightly more antiquated, or not antiquated, with the younger portrait of Queen Victoria, not the youngest. Of course, her reign, 1837 and 1901, means that these are all towards the end of her reign, but certainly some interesting types, 1892 on that one. And then let's see what else. There was some random Italian silver that I picked up just to test out. I think it's always kind of charming. What did we get here? So we have a few. I actually hadn't seen this type before. I don't know why I didn't know it, but I think it's 1,000 lire. And here's a John Paul 1,000 lire from Vatican City. And then the remainder, we had some of these uncirculated 500 lire from Italy. Beautiful coins. And then over here, we have an Italian 1 lira, 1863. Here's a 1917 1 lire. Here we've got a 1863, and what's this one? 1867 Victorio Emanuel. We also have this later anonymous phallus, one of the later types, but this is like 11th century AD. So that was from that Italian seller. And then I think most of what I have that's left is from Kunker, which was the shop that I visited to start. And so, yeah, I mean, these are different 3 Kreuzer coins, 1712 from different, I think probably a lot of Franz Josef, I forget exactly. Maybe a lot of these are Silesian, 1664, Moneta, Argent. Let's see who the ruler is. Oh, Christian. Awesome. That's my name. So Christian something. A lot of 3 Kreuzer little silvers here. There's more of Christian. Awesome. By default, a great purchase. We had this, which was, in a very nice Bayern, but like a pin, and is really designed to be worn as jewelry. Patrona Bavariae. It's in great shape. Just a shame. These were some of the more inexpensive stuff, and I thought that it would be nice. It's probably something that's a little tougher for them to move, so I'd come in and purchase some of that. This one's from 1627, a Leopold, probably some taller or close to it. I just thought that was kind of an exciting and interesting one. Here's a bunch of, it looks like maybe Danish and Swedish silver. I forgot that I'd purchased this stuff. 1897, 2, I think it was 2, it could be 5 kroner. Here's 1906, a Danish one, 2 kroner. I bet they're all 2 kroner there. 1930, Danish. Some really interesting types. Here's some Swedish items from 1932. So lots of different silver. A fair amount of this stuff is a little bit clean when I look at it. Certainly that one is under the light. Christian the 9th, 1875, 2 kroner. But a nice range of items as well. Some of the silver, we don't see quite as much of, some of those types basically. Then that's a nice little batch. Looks like we have some earlier, solidly earlier items. 30 Kreuzer there. There's an Australian florin in decent shape from 1927. There's one in the background that's pretty nice, 1773, a little bit scratched up, but pretty decent appearance. And then that's pretty awesome. What is that coin? Is this like a Jetton? Or maybe, no, it's a 1619 silver coin. We'll look forward to inventorying it further. I'm going to learn a lot on the inventorying here. I was kind of buying by feel. 1795 20 kreuzer from one of the cities there, but definitely some pretty solid coins here that I was able to pick up. So it's very near Marienplatz if you go. 1793 Regne de la Loi. Maybe it's from the French Republic, and it is 6 livres. Looks like it's burned or definitely a details item, but something interesting. And then here's an 1891. Is that right? Yeah, 1891. What is that from, though? No, maybe that's 1681. That makes a lot more sense based off of the lettering and style of the coin. I think this will make for some pretty interesting inventory in future offerings. 1/3 taler, perhaps. Johann Georg from... should be... well, I'm not sure. Again, at least a good amount of time ago is what I can confirm here. We've got a few Russian items, not too much on that front, but this was a little group that I thought looked interesting. There's this 1885 kopeck of Russia, a nice 10 kopeck, though it does have a scratch, from 1837, and an 1795 kopecks. I got a good deal pretty close to melt, which, I thought was a good price on these US coins that were over there in pretty good condition. Here's a nice Booker T. Washington, Washington Carver, Colombian, $50. All have some faint, some toning, but like a faint, I bet that they were sitting in an album. And then a pretty decent Monroe, which is maybe a little bit tougher to find than some of the other ones in there. So I didn't think that was bad at all. And then there were a few more like gambly moves that I made. So here we've got a bunch of Sigismund to, just like silver pfennigs. They're from a Hungarian consignor. You can tell by the Bexy, and I'll have to confirm, but 1536, I thought that was one of the better ones in there. 1528, I like the ones with clear dates and the attribution, because it may take a little while to figure out exactly where they all belong. But some interesting types. There's a Sigismund Tiroli, probably Sigismund the First. And yeah, I don't know, nice little mini lot there. I'll probably keep those together just because I want them still with the consignor ticket, because that one will take a little longer to figure out exactly what it is. But then a lot of these are these little individual coins. 1746. I thought this was just a very nice eye appeal coin from Anselm, a Würzburg. What is it? Bistum. I think Bistum is a denomination. I think I paid only 15 euros for that, which was actually relatively cheap. Obviously the plane and living accommodations are not inexpensive, but a nice Saxony or Saxon from Johann Georg as well. Groschen, minted in Dresden, which there was the terrible Dresden bombings towards the end of World War II. Here's a Constans, which is the state, a Batson from about, in pretty decent shape from around 500 years ago. Let's see. Oh, wow. We got a good number of these little 10 pfennigs of the, I think, 13th century, or 1200s is what they're saying, 13th century. I'll have to further identify those, but there's a lot of interesting hammered German silver, which is just super, super cool. What is this coin? A Bistum, a 1/84th golden from Bamberg around in the 1670s or early 80s. And I'm going to go slow unboxing the rest of these, but it's just so fun to be able to do this. Beautiful 1736 Grosch, Landgrosch from Karl Albrecht in Bayern. Bavaria is what Bayern is. Here's a little 1726. Also, these charming little silvers. Oops, I dropped it. They're often pretty thin. It's Anton der Jüngere, probably the younger Halfkreuzer. Such an interesting legacy in German state stuff. There's a fair amount of the little minors. This is not that. So it can be worth developing a little expertise there. Here's a Julia Mamea. And is that Juno Conservatori? And she's alongside Severus Alexander. I think it's the mom of Severus Alexander, but that's the last in the Severan dynasty, which starts with Septimius. I think this is the other ancient that I purchased there. This was the first coin I bought just to open things up. I want to say I paid 50 euros for it. So reasonably priced, but not, probably try to sell it in the 60 to 75 range because it's a pretty nice lustrous example. Here's a Johann Gottfried von Gutenberg, a shilling. Very nice, 1688. And we don't have tons of coins left here, but I want to show all the unboxings that are possible. This one, is this a little Nuremberg coin? No, a Nancy from Oberlothringen. Is that like maybe a German-French territory with a little bit of a horse portrait on the reverse? That's cool. What did I pay for that? Paid 30 euros. So I'll try to sell it for about 40 bucks. And then right here we've got a 1752 Maximilian III Joseph Three-Kreuzer, also of Bavaria. Pretty nice shape. I bet that one's more, cheaper. Paid 10. I'll try to pay 10 euros. Try to sell it for 15 to 20 bucks probably, start bid. We've got a few in here. I think I've sold a few items from this group already, but here are some of the Habsburg, like maybe a 1/4 taler or something like that. KB is the Kremnica Mint in Slovakia, 1701. This XV is 15 Kreuzers. There you can see the amount having been removed, 1676, with Madonna and Child also minted in Kremnica. But it's not like those are super plentiful. And I bet this is that other type. Yep, the from Constans. Nice item. I wish I had a better direct purchasing where I could just call them up and, basically buy right through that channel. Here we've got a Brandenburg, Prussia, 1752. Friedrich the Great. Friedrich II. Not the Great, I think. What is this going? Is it an Ulm item? Lowenstein, Wertheim, Rochefort, from Constantine, 1801. But pretty nice shape. I bet I only paid 10. Yeah, I paid 10 for that. They're still pretty charming coins, though. And I don't know if I'll make back the money again on this buy necessarily, but I think hopefully some of the relationships can continue for the future. There's a Three-Kreuzer. Bunch of little Three-Kreuzer coins. A lot of these are like 1/24 talers, similar to, remind me of the Polish-Lithuanian 3 Polkers, but I think these are generally slightly better types. And then our last of the day, this interesting little mix of stuff. We've got an an Ethiopian, with a little bit of PVC, this fantastic Prussian coin, 1 silver groschen. I mean, really unk. We've got some mixed, but much older German types from across the board. That one says Prussia, maybe the Duke in Prussia. I'm not seeing the year exactly on there. Oh yeah, I am. 1676. 1679. 6 Kreuzer, it looks like. Here's a Sigismund. That's actually a decent type. Polish 1562, I think. 3-kreuzer. And then we even have a South African Republic 6 pence. A 1855 silver groschen. And then last but not least, this nice 1683 6-kreuzer. So, oops, I dropped one of the coins, but I think that's probably everything that I've purchased for now at this show that I have with me. I always think it's just really fun to go through and show stuff off and figure out what I've got. I want to say approximate spending on what's in front of us. I think for the Ancients it was like somewhere in the 1500 range, 1600, and then the rest of the stuff, I know I spent at least $2,000 at Kunker, but I know I've sold some of the Kunker stuff, so, and then the rest wasn't too much, but hope that this was fun, and I look forward to trying to get back to Munich or some of the foreign coin shows when I can, as the schedule permits, and we'll look forward to keeping you updated on all of that. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to head on over to treasuretown.com and sign up for our email list to stay up to date on everything that's happening, whether it's auction updates, exciting new inventory drops, coin collecting news, or general informational resources. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on another one.